So I just came back from Walmart, and as you can see, this has become routine now. Wiping down all the surfaces, well, first my hands, and then all the surfaces of my car, and even my phone. It's early in the morning. It's only a little after 9, so it's very civil. It's very calm. As I was walking around, I thought about something my mom used to say, and the early bird catches the worm. I guess a lot of people say it, but it was very calm in Walmart. There are a lot of people here already, I guess, picking up whatever they can pick up in preparation for whatever is coming our way. But it was very civil this morning, and I guess that is the benefit. And I'm going the wrong way. I see the arrow actually facing me. One of the benefits of getting up early in the morning before the craziness that normally ensues is you deal with more civil people. I live in a country now, and I'm grateful that we live in a country now, because even this morning, with everything that is going on in the world right now, people are still greeting each other. People still saying good morning. Just being civil. And I think one of the things, I have a chat group with 3 other friends. We met each other through work. We actually all worked for the same company at one point. We now work for different companies, but we have remained friends, and we have a chat group that we text each other, and just almost like a life happens support group. We go through our ups and our downs, and we share with each other. We go through our trials and tribulations. And in the chat, I said to my 3 other friends that I'm not concerned about actually getting Covid-19. That's what the virus is called. My concern is really people remaining civil. I just feel like in crisis, all rationale and logic and just being human tends to go out the door when people are put under this type of pressure. And my concern is for my family, making sure that they're safe, making sure my husband and my daughter are safe, of course, making sure my siblings, my father is safe, my in-laws are safe, my stepchildren, their parents, friends, all families, cousins, aunts, uncles. My concern is that during this time, whatever happens, that people are in a safe place. Not so much catching the virus. I have resolved a long time ago, I really believe since I was a child, that we're born and we die. And anyone who knows me knows that I am not afraid of death. So that's something that I hear sirens, and I just want to make sure. Okay. So that's something that I resolved a long time ago, that death is inevitable. So actually getting the virus is not a concern. I don't want to suffer. No one wants to suffer through dying. But I understand that we all have our time. And it's going to happen one way or another. So if that means that I come in contact with this virus and that is my time to go, then I'm okay with that. And it's interestingly enough, my brother Ronald, who I talked to a few days ago, he lives in New York. We talked about it, and he's okay with it too. He's okay with, if it's his time to go, it's his time to go. And he's 8 years younger than I am. And I guess that is because of our upbringing. I know a lot of it has to do with my feelings, due to my faith and my understanding of who God is. So actually getting the virus is not a concern. I don't want to bring up virus home to my family. So I take precautions in that measure because I don't want to see my family get sick. I don't want to see them suffer. And I definitely don't want to lose them. So I take the necessary precautions. And part of those precautions, as you saw, I wiped down the car. But part of those precautions also included, this week I started wearing gloves in the office because I realized one of my faults. You touch a lot of surfaces throughout your day anyway. But in the office, we touch a lot. Between transferring papers back and forth, transferring envelopes and all type of things, touching the desk, touching file cabinets, touching doorknobs, keyboards, computers, everything that you do throughout the day, you touch a lot of surfaces. But one of my faults is that I have, and I've recognized that, a habit of touching my face. Over the years, it's gotten better because when I was younger, of course, you lean on your hands, you play with your hair, you just do things around your face. And I found that I was touching my face a lot. And I suffered with acne practically all my life up until a few years ago when we moved here. And I had to be conscious not to touch my face because, of course, your hands have germs and you put those germs on your face, you break out. And in my skincare routine, it's something that I have to be conscious of. And I don't do it as much as I used to, but it still happens. So what I did was I started wearing gloves, plastic gloves, so that I was aware not to touch my face throughout the day. And it actually worked. And that was one of the precautions that I took in order to make sure that especially in addition to washing hands, that throughout the day, if I did come in contact with anything type of bacteria, that I would not bring it to my face. So anyway, I'm headed back home. KO actually called me because, of course, when she woke up, I wasn't home. I picked up, and that's what I was saying in an earlier video, in the event that the government decides to do a national quarantine, if they decide to have curfews, have any type of circumstance where we're restricted to the house, I wanted it to be as normal as possible for myself and as normal as possible for KL. So we finally got the message yesterday that schools are going to be closed for 2 weeks, which I'm thankful that Big Dog works his own schedule. So he tends to be home during the day, and then he works in the afternoon when he does his family therapy. So with the schools closing, it works out in our favor that he can be home during the day with KL, and I can go to work. Once I received notice that schools will be closed for the entire state of Delaware, I immediately text my supervisor, who also, he has a son, but I think my supervisor was not in Delaware at the time because he was traveling. So I texted him. He hasn't been in the office for a few days, so I texted him when Delaware declared a state of emergency. And then I texted him again yesterday to let him know that schools would be closed and that I would not be taking time off, but I would need to adjust my schedule in order to accommodate my husband being able to do what he does. So I'm thankful that I have a very supportive supervisor when it comes to work-life balance, because he too, he is married. He and his husband, they have a 13-year-old, and he understands work-life balance, and I'm grateful for that. And I don't try to I try very hard to make sure that I'm doing the job that I need to do at work, so he doesn't have to worry about that aspect of it. And then in exchange, I coughed because something was in my throat. In exchange, he recognizes that and knows that I'm going to do what I need to do to get the job done, but the times that I need to adjust my schedule, or I try not to call out. I try to just work a different schedule or flex time in order to be able to do my job, because I'm a human resource supervisor. I have people who depend on me, not just the staff who reports to me, but people in other positions that depend on me to be able to do my job. And I try to do that as best as possible. I think I'm doing a good job. He said he thinks I'm doing a good job. So I'm just glad to have a very, very supportive supervisor. So I text him, he texts me back, and we have a great understanding of what the circumstances are. So, as I said, I wanted to keep home as normal as possible for KL. So I thought about it last night, and then I woke up this morning because I promised KL as soon as the weather got warmer that we would plant flowers. And I haven't planted flowers outside since I was a teenager. I was 13 when my parents bought their first house, and I remember we went to the Home Depot, and I asked my mom, I didn't know if she would say yes or not, but I asked my mom if I could plant rose bushes in the front of the house, and to my surprise she said yes, and she purchased 2 of the, I don't even know what they're called. It's a name for them. When I do my video showing us planting in rose bushes, by that time I'll find the name for them, but if you know what they're called, it's not the actual bush yet, but it's the soil and the stems. I forgot what it's called, but I purchased 2 of them today, in addition to tulips and what are the other ones called? Hyacinths. I love the color purple, of course, so hyacinths are very pretty to me, and I wanted color in the front of our house. So there's a space in the front of our house that the grass was retarded because we had the fall leaves. We didn't pick up the fall leaves right away. So the fall leaves smothered that area. And now there's a big space in the front of the house that doesn't have grass. And I'm going to use that space to put our rose bush and our flowers. And I'm looking forward to that with KL because I planted flowers last summer in this barbecue pit that I turned into a flower garden. One of our neighbors had given us a barbecue pit, and it's not a barbecue pit, a fire pit. And I wasn't using it as a fire pit. It was just out there. And I said, I know I'm not going to use it as a fire pit, but it would make a great place to put flowers. And that's what I did last summer. And Kale helped me. And we had a great time doing it. So when we moved, I promised her, I said, we will plant. So I did that. I also bought some vegetable seeds. I bought tomato seeds and green beans and carrots. I remember as a little girl in elementary school planting carrot seeds and watching the carrots grow and a little sprout, and not really letting the carrot grow to its full potential because you were so eager to see what the carrot looked like underground. So pulling up and saying, oh, a little baby carrot. So I bought some carrot seeds also. And I know KL will like that as well. Our little makeshift vegetable garden. So it's something that I thought about. I said, if, God forbid, if this gets worse, I want to do things that bring light to the situation. And I made a list on Facebook that I'll share in another video of things that I would plan to do, which included a lot of, I'm coming into my development, but I just thought about something. I should probably go get gas. I don't feel like getting gas though. I'm tired. So I'm gonna go. I told Kay I was on my way home and we would see. I don't know if Big Dog started making breakfast for her, but I want to make sure that she has breakfast because she was a little annoyed. She is annoyed when she wakes up and I'm not home. But anyway, I'm in my development now. I'll tune in again later. I can't guarantee when. It'll just be if things with this situation with the COVID-19 progresses, then I definitely will tune in sooner to do videos. My group chat and we have decided that for any reason, if we become quarantined nationally, that we plan to do live streaming as a group and discuss different topics. One of the topics that my friend said she wanted to talk about is, well, not my husband, but in general topic, my husband is an a-hole. I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but listen, if we are quarantined for any reason, we will start a live stream in order to maintain our civility. Okay? So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all the support from you guys, and I will talk to you again.